Welcome to Integrity Inspire, your daily dose of inspiration and motivation, featuring the bright and talented members of the Integrity Marketing Group family. Now, here's your host, Integrity co-founder and CEO, Brian W. Adams.
All right. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining today's Inspire podcast. So excited to be back with you today, man. We've just had so much fun announcing partnership after partnership and being able to bring in new thought leaders into the Integrity family. And it's just been truly remarkable. All of the incredible people that we've been just continuing to add to this incredible roster of industry icons and leaders in the business and ways to come together to serve more people and do more than we could ever do on our own. And so today, man, I'm excited. We've got another great leader joining us here at Integrity, and I'm pleased to announce that Russek Financial Services has joined the Integrity family. As part of this partnership, Jeff Russek, president of Russek Financial Services, will become a managing partner here at Integrity, and they're headquartered in North Haven, Connecticut. And this is another one of the incredible businesses that we've added, not only in Connecticut, but in the Northeast. And Russek Financial Services is in the health and wealth business, and they're offering a variety of Medicare products and financial services throughout that area of the country. And now, as part of the Integrity family, Jeff and his team will be able to tap into a lot of our additional resources and support so that we can help even grow faster, but also serve more Americans with their life, health, and wealth planning needs. So, Jeff, on behalf of all the partners here at Integrity, it is my honor to be the first to welcome you here at Integrity as the newest managing partner. Congratulations, my friend.
Well, thank you, Brian. I'm extremely happy to be here. This is a huge day for our company. We've been looking forward to this day for a long time. It's been a lot of hard work, and we're glad we finally got it done. And we're very excited to join this winning team and really start cranking it out. And I'm ready to kind of get back to my core business at this point.
Wow, that is awesome, man. Well, you know, we've grown through partnership and referrals. And it's people who refer one another to become partners here at Integrity. And this Inspire podcast was truly inspired by this idea that we should share best ideas, best practices, stories about how we got started. And one of the ways that you were referred to us is through one of the earliest partners that joined the Integrity family, Steve Bugg, who's also there in Connecticut. And so I wanted to have Steve come on and just be the first to congratulate you. Steve, you there, man?
I am, Brian. Very excited about this. I know Jeff's been working on this for a long time. I've been working with him for over 20 years now and have a ton of respect for Jeff and his organization. And I couldn't be happier to have him in as a partner, and I think he'll be a great addition. So congratulations, Jeff.
Thanks, Steve. Very kind words. I'm sure I don't deserve them, but I certainly do appreciate them. I didn't know you were going to be on the call, so I will say, you've been an inspiration to me, and you really put my mind at ease, when I was doing my due diligence with this partnership. So I thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Hey, so Jeff, Steve, stick around. So Jeff, whenever we started this podcast, we started bringing in people to share their story. And Steve, you were one of the early partners here at Integrity to ever join us. I've known you and Lisa and your whole family. Max worked with us for a while as an intern, and Jack was going to, right? But then we had COVID and that didn't work out. But, you've been kind of just an early part of the Integrity story. I'd love to hear your thoughts on, what Integrity's meant, to you and your family and just kind of what you're excited about right now.
Oh, it's been an incredible run, actually. I'm beyond words. When we first got together, I think I kind of joked with you. It was almost felt to me like an idea was still kind of written down on a napkin. You were organized, but you certainly weren't the company that you are now or Integrity is now. And I had so much faith in not only you, but in Tom and Mike. And I'm very thankful that, as I talked about in my podcast, Paul Sharon was really instrumental at having me reach out to Mike early on. And I couldn't be happier with the whole experience and watching this whole thing evolve. And I'm really excited for what Jeff's going to experience going forward. and any of the other partners that I knew before they jumped in. And I couldn't be happier. I really think it is absolutely amazing.
Well, we're incredibly proud to be your partner. And I know whenever you did your podcast back in the early days, I mean, we started this back when we went on COVID lockdown. Can you believe it's been over 2 years ago now that we were doing these daily, and you were one of the earliest that we had jump on. And I've got a pretty good memory for whatever reason. I'm not trying to brag, but just saying that it's kind of a blessing and a curse. But I remember on your podcast, it was an emotional one. You talked about Paul. You talked about a lot of the different things that you've been through. But whenever we were going through that, we would always ask the guest to sing a song to kind of, break up the ice or, be an icebreaker, just kind of get somebody started. And we started out with, I asked Jim Sweeney. He was the first one to join on the podcast. He was like, there's no way in the world I'm going to do it. I asked AC Chapman right after that, and man, he owned it right off the bat. And then a lot of people kind of get a little nervous whenever I ask them. And so then we have this whole deal with Kendall coming in, and she would, she's kind of always been the one who's been the bellwether to save us all through that. Then it created Integrity Idol and Integrity's Got Talent. It's just been a fun process. But I remember that whenever I had you on, I got so excited about talking to you that I forgot to ask you to sing. And so I thought I would give you another chance here, because I know you gave me a hard time because you said I was ready and you forgot to ask me. You were actually on a boat with Mike Wingate when you were giving me a hard time about this. So I thought I would just make sure I made right by you and say, do you want to start off the podcast by singing for us today?
Well, it sounds like you forgot that you already did that to me once on a different announcement. I actually did sing.
I know. Every time I get you on here, I'm just going to bring in you can't give me a hard time anymore. I remember, and it was a legit song, so I thought it would give. There's a lot of.
Oh yeah.
Jeff hasn't got to hear you sing.
Yeah, but I have to be prepared for that, Brian. I wrote lyrics. I'm not a guy who can just pull a song off the top of my head. I have to have something prepared. And so you caught me off guard here. I really I can't do like Kendall and just pull it off the top of my head. That would be a little brutal. You might have to get me next time.
So Jeff, every time I talk to Steve, he gives me a hard time for me forgetting and all of this. So now we're finally cleared here. So I
enjoyed having you put him on the spot. I got to say that was funny.
So in that case, we should let Jeff. We should let you just sing. You can sing anything you want.
How about you don't want to hear me sing, Brian? Seriously.
Well, hey.
I play guitar and I don't sing. How's that?
Oh my God, we should have known about this and had you play some guitar. We've had a few guys play the guitar. Mike White had one of his buddies play guitar for him and sing one day. It was pretty fun. Well, hey Steve, I love you, man. You're one of my favorite people ever, and I appreciate you more than you ever know for everything you've done for us. But also thank you for referring Jeff to the team. We're so excited about that, man.
Perfect. We're all going to be very happy to have him aboard for sure.
Well, think of a song. Next time we'll go through the same little dance, and we'll try to see if we got a song that time. So, well, hey Jeff, man, listen, this is part of what we're building here at Integrity is having fun, being able to share great ideas, best practices, but business should be a lot of fun as well. And we've just had a great time where we are today, but we're super excited about you joining us. Now, I understand that you got into the insurance business through financial planning. Can you tell us a little bit more about how you got into the business?
Yeah, that's right, Brian. I guess most people don't grow up thinking I want to get into financial planning or insurance. We kind of more or less drop into it. But I had a background in accounting and finance at UConn, go Huskies. And, I worked in corporate finance jobs in banking and trucking, and it felt more like a job than a career. And I knew I had to become self-employed at some point. I always had an entrepreneurial leaning. My dad was an entrepreneur, and he really showed me the satisfaction of being self-employed. And as a kid, I was shining shoes on the streets of Hartford, We used to have a golf tournament in my hometown called the Sammy Davis Jr. Greater Hartford Open. I don't know if you remember that, but
Wow.
I used to sell soda. The golfers had to cross the street. I'd get up at 4 to get my spot, and I was an entrepreneur from a very young age, and the corporate thing just wasn't working out for me. So I had to figure out what I wanted to do, and I had an interest in personal finance. At the time, I was interested in investing, accumulating, growing, protecting, and transferring assets. So I thought maybe becoming a financial planner would be a good option. The other criterion I had was I wanted to help people. I had to be in a position where I was helping people because that's where my passion really lied. So I had to figure out what to do. So 27 years ago, I came in through the captive insurance agency side, and, they want you to push proprietary products. And it wasn't my cup of tea. But, I found out very early that people weren't willing to invest their life savings with somebody new to the business. So I started selling group health and individual plans kind of just to pay the bills. I had to stay in the game. And that's what it is. This is a stay in the game type of business. And, usually you're underpaid very early in your career and hopefully overpaid later on. And I went truly independent in 1999. And in the early 2000s, some guys introduced me to selling Medicare supplements. And I was, they're like, we could win trips, we could do this, we could do that. And they kind of brought me under their wing. And we started selling Medicare supplements. So by the time the Medicare Modernization Act came through in 2006, I was already really pre-positioned for the Medicare market because now it opened up to the drug plans, the Medicare Advantage plans, and all the rest. And, since then, that market and the demographics have just worked exceptionally well in our favor. I mean, the boomers have been dropping onto Medicare for already, 10 years, and that's going to go on for another 8-10 years. So these things kept me in the business, and I found over time that, my Medicare business fed my financial planning business, and my financial planning business fed my Medicare business. So it worked out very well for me, and that's pretty much how I got into the business.
That is awesome. Look, I've got a niece that's in financial planning now, and I was talking to her about a really big organization that she's working for now, and I told her, I said, as part of that, you're going to be implementing a lot of insurance products, and you're going to see why I'm so excited about the insurance business. And I think it's interesting how you when you first get started, I think, as you were talking about, it can be pretty challenging at the beginning for anything, but it's so rewarding over time to really serve people. And that's something that I just believe that we're truly serving people with our products and, getting into, like you were talking about, new focus on Medicare. I know that's got to be a challenge when you're first entering into it. I'd love to hear more about what that was like for you.
Well, getting into the Medicare business, like I said, I had no idea where it was going to lead to. I had a couple guys that were instrumental in showing me how to do it. And like I said, by the time the Medicare Modernization Act came upon, I was already, ready to go. I was ramped up and probably in a better position than most agents at that time.
And why do you think that, we talk a lot about health and wealth here at Integrity. I'd love your perspective of why the convergence of health and wealth is so important for us to be there to serve people.
Well, I think, for a lot of people, those are two of the scariest facets of their life, right? Yeah. Their health and their wealth. People are afraid of outliving their money, dying too soon, all sorts of things. So it taps into people's most primordial instincts. And to be able to come in and present somebody with a Medicare plan that's going to put them at ease, or a retirement plan or an income plan that's going to set them up for life and keep them in their lifestyle, that's very reassuring for a lot of people.
Now, I understand you also are into mountaineering. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, for 25 years, it was my passion. Started out just being a kid in the woods, playing in trees and enjoying my time. And then the teenager went on some backpacking, canoeing trips, and found that it really was a confidence boost to me. By 16, I went on a Colorado Outward Bound course, and I learned basic mountaineering skills and teamwork. and a lot of things that transfer over to our daily lives. And, that was eye-opening to me. And from there, it just kept progressing. I went on to rock climbing, ice climbing, and eventually, bigger mountains.
And what's the, this is super intriguing. What's the biggest mountain you've ever climbed?
Well, they've been all different. I've climbed a lot of mountains. I had a goal of climbing the highest mountain on every continent. I read a book back in the early 90s about somebody who had done it, and, it just got under my skin. So that was a lifelong goal. I ended up doing 5 of the 7, and then, business got in the way, family got in the way, the usual stuff. But, it's been a joy for me. It's many of the skills I learned over those many years have really transferred into skills that I can use every day in my business. The highest mountain was Aconcagua. It was actually the first mountain I did. It's a mountain on the Argentinian-Chilean border, and I did that in January 1991. And from there, my confidence just built. Later on that year, I went to Denali, otherwise known as Mount McKinley, and highest mountain in North America, and summited that on the summer solstice to 1991. And as my skills and confidence grew, I just kept up in the game. After that, I went to Kilimanjaro and did a route there,
Wow.
Summited there. That, I think, was 19,000 feet, something like that. The highest mountain in Europe is a mountain called Mount Elbrus. It's in the Caucasus, in Russia. And I was there in the early 90s when it was kind of the Wild West of capitalism back in those days, and climbed a mountain there at about 18,000 feet. And the fifth one I did was a mountain called Karsten's Pyramid, which sits on the Australasian tectonic plate. And I chose to do the more difficult route, which was in the middle of nowhere. It's an Indonesian area. And, it was a remote climb. I was weeks away from medical help, and it was a rock climb, but it took 7 days just to get there. So that and many other mountains, but I had to finally, give it up and pursue a career and raise a family.
Man, that is incredible. And look, this is for everybody here on the call. I love documentaries. I love learning about people's lives and just normal people that overcome crazy stuff. And there's a documentary on Netflix that's called 14 Peaks. Have you seen 14 Peaks yet?
I haven't, but now I'm going to look it up because I too like documentaries, and I can give you the name of 3 or 4 that'll blow you away.
Dude, I would love them. But watch 14 Peaks. So it's this guy, this incredible guy from Nepal. He decided he was going to, there's 14 peaks that are over
8,000 meters.
8,000 meters. It's like 26,000 feet, right? I mean, you think about these are massive, massive peaks. So there's 14 of them. He decided he was going to climb all of them, and he did it in 7 months. I mean, just think about the athleticism, everything it takes to do that. It was unbelievable. And his deal is nothing is impossible. And I think that's kind of the spirit that we have here at Integrity is that, look, nothing's impossible. We can accomplish anything we set our mind to. And we think that there's just such an incredible opportunity to serve more people all coming together. And you are this incredible inspiration about how you've climbed peaks on 5 continents. Literally, this is superstar type of stuff that you're doing. But I think that it just proves you can push yourself to a new limit in so many different ways. What do you think you've learned the most at climbing a mountain when you're 7 days away from into a deal or you're weeks away from medical care or whatever? What are you learning about yourself the most during that time?
Well, I would say, Brian, I think that the 3 things the mountains will teach you are patience, persistence, and gratitude. And you need all those things to climb because, mountaineering takes a lot of patience, guts, skills, and, even some luck. And it's very easy to connect the mountain climb with some humongous task in your life and then thereby learn how to deal with the difficulties in our own lives. And every mountain can teach you something about yourself if you're willing to see it from the top. And I would say patience, persistence, and gratitude For me, team building, overcoming fears like having to do podcasts and things like that. They're all things that will help you achieve better performance and build leadership skills and self-confidence. Preparation is always the key to success that you can use in everyday life. Being open to change, no matter how much you plan, things can get out of control pretty unexpectedly.
Yeah.
So as a business person, you need the agility to respond quickly and with good judgment to these things too. So there's lots of things, and I'm not even mentioning all of them.
Man, I think there's so much truth to that you have to be flexible, right? I mean, you have to be like, hey, I know we're going to get there. We may have to take a different route. We may have to do something a little different than what we had expected going in. But if you're prepared enough, you can kind of overcome that fear, push through it, and you can climb the mountain. It's remarkable whenever you start thinking about this. And a lot of the older timers that have been here at Integrity, certainly Steve Bugg would recall this. In 2018, I think it was 17 or 18, we came up with this idea that we wanted to, we called it Summit 2020, and we wanted to get to $1 billion in sales by the year 2020. And it was just something that we were just like, it was such an audacious goal that it didn't even make sense, honestly. But it was, that's what I think great goals are. They stretch you, they push you. And if you're not aiming for the stars, you're not going to hit anywhere, right? And so
that's right.
We had this goal that we were going to get to $1 billion in premium sold by 2020. And we just kind of rallied around the Summit 2020 idea. And a lot of mountaineering kind of, talk and a lot of different things. We would kind of use these analogies. And today, looking back, when we were talking about that, I remember people going, this kind of fear and doubt creeps in. It's like, there's no chance. I can't remember. I think we were probably 300 million of premium at the time. And then you start seeing everybody buy into this, and then you start seeing the momentum. And today we're at over 10 billion of premium. And
wow.
While in the previous time you would think about there's no is this even possible? Now look back and go, that was only 2 years ago, not even 2 years ago, that we were hoping to get to that. And I think we ended up being at close to 3 billion in sales by the end of 2020. And so sometimes I think this is so important. Sometimes it's not that our dreams are too big. Sometimes it's our dreams are too small, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
If we can all come together. Now the truth is there's no way you could ever do any of those things on your own, and nor would you probably want to, right? I mean, if you want to go far, you got to go as a team. And that's where I think being a part of what we're building here at Integrity is such an important part of teamwork, is all of us coming together with a common goal to serve more people with their life, health, and wealth, and we can serve even more people than we could ever dreamt of before. And I think we'll be looking back on this day and going, man, why weren't we thinking bigger even back then as well? So just kind of as we conclude here, what are you most excited about being part of the Integrity family and kind of this larger partnership today?
Well, I got to tell you, when I was thinking about this partnership, I did a business plan back in 2006, even though I've been in the business 27 years and, I had to get to the next level and I had to prepare a plan. So I just recently reread my business plan from 2006. And, I looked at my core values that I wrote down all those years ago. And the first one on my list was integrity. And the second one was trust. The third was service. The fourth was performance. And the fifth was passion. And I just saw so much overlap in our core values that it just made sense. Aside from that, the obvious things like the synergies, we can create, we partners being the parts and integrity being the whole, and the sum of the parts is greater than the whole. So those are the main reasons I want to join. I know I can leverage it. I've got weaknesses, and I know you've got a lot of strengths that will complement my weaknesses. So those are the main reasons.
That is maybe one of the best answers I've ever heard about joining Integrity. One of the things we talk about here all the time are really, it's about our core values, and it starts with integrity. And I think that there's a reason that most people on the call know one of my biggest pet peeves is when people try to summarize things in an acronym like IMG instead of saying integrity. I think there's power in the word integrity. They hold you accountable to it as well, which is important. And we want people to hold us accountable to that. But, having people who are like-minded, who are not afraid of pushing themselves hard, that want to climb the highest mountain, that have integrity and have those same core values, man, that is what gets me excited about being your partner and why I'm so thankful that we're able to have this call today. And I'm so excited about us making this announcement. So we're going to be making this announcement. I'm so excited about being able to do that because it also proclaims that we're all coming together with integrity, with core values. So I want to tell you again, thank you, man, for joining today. This has been inspiring to me to think about how much harder we can push ourselves to go further than we ever thought about, but doing it as a team and doing it the right way. So congratulations, buddy. I am so excited to be your partner and really appreciate you trusting us, man.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate all your kind words and sentiments and my feelings exactly, and really look forward to the future.
It's going to be a lot of fun, man. God bless you, Jeff. I really appreciate you, man. I'm so excited to celebrate with you and see how far we can go, man. We're going to go a long ways together for sure.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you again, Jeff, man. We're super excited, super proud to be your partner. Hope everybody has an incredible day and can't wait to see what we can accomplish together. God bless you all. Take care.